You look like the guy that has your girls cooking for you every
girls, plural.
We're not gonna go there.
Let's not go there.
Hey.
This guy said girl.
Ah,
That's
man,
crazy.
we can edit that shit.
I'm a man of God.
Don't edit it out.
Wow, that's
This is
crazy.
raw footage.
You said that's where we're going now? That's crazy. Wow.
Don't slander my name.
What do you got on the table today, though, bro?
Oh, we got lots.
What's on the table?
We got
What do
lots.
you want to start with first, man?
You know, first off, let's introduce our guest.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, we're gonna
I'm
introduce
tripping.
me.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Oh,
That's
where
on
are your
me.
manners?
That's on me. My
Oh,
bad.
sorry.
My bad.
No, it's all good. It's
That's
okay.
crazy.
It's terrible.
You got a
terrible.
very special guest on today, though.
Oh, thank you.
Want to introduce yourself?
Special VIP treatment, I guess. Yeah, my name is Zoie, for everyone who doesn't know me. I also go by Zoe. I'm social media marketing specialist, enthusiast, somewhat expert, I guess you can say. I also have a podcast called The Relentless Diaries that comes out bi-weekly on all podcast streaming platforms. I talk a lot of stuff on there, range in topics, politics, pop culture, being in your 20s, regular day-to-day stuff. So
That's what's up. You get some juice and you get loose, right?
I got a little juice. No, I'm
Yeah,
not going
man.
out because it is a pandemic. So, you know,
That's responsible.
got a little drink just to, you know.
That's good. How's the pandemic been treating you?
How's it been treating me? Personally, the only thing I really miss is traveling. Like, I'm a big traveler. I used to average like 4 trips a year. So that's one thing I definitely miss a lot. Like, I love traveling and like I love seeing new countries. I just love being like on the beach and stuff like that. But like on a day-to-day basis, I love working from home. Like, everyone's like, I hate it.
You like
No.
it? I don't like it.
What?
I hate it.
No.
I thought the hell? 2 months ago, you're like, wow, I love this. This is the best
Yeah,
shit
but then I realized I can't get anything done.
That's what I'm trying to.
Really, you don't.
I'm
No,
trying to tell you.
I moved all my
me?
stuff back into my office.
No. See, for me, it's the opposite. Because in my head, I'm like, yo, I get so much stuff done. Like, when I wake up and I get stuff done early by, like, 1. And then I start doing work in advance, right? So, like, next week's work or, like, next month's work and building stuff like that. So, I'm like, yo, what was I doing Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 in the office if I'm getting so much stuff done so quickly at home?
You need a certain level of like accountability though to actually get shit done at home.
No, you
Because
need
it's so easy to slack off.
everything needs to be separate. Everything needs to be separate.
But don't you feel like you have more time for yourself now? Because for me, so much, and a lot of people in like the GTA, like so much time of your job is commuting. So you're not getting paid to commute, right? Think about it. You're waking up at 7 a.m. and you're getting ready, leaving the house by like 7:38 to get to your job. That's already an hour you're dedicating to your job you're not getting paid for. And then you get in your car at 5, maybe 5:15, depending on the day. It's dark because of daylight savings. Then you're in traffic on the 401 for another hour that's not paid for because you're leaving your job, right? So there's so much time dedicated to work that's not paid for.
Oh, my
But now that I work from home,
you're good. You don't.
I get up when
save time.
you know, when I need to. But yeah, if I want to go to the gym and I have a class at 5:30, I can make it at 5:30 because I'm already at home.
Yeah.
Well, my commute's 10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, you're in Edmonton, so that's
So my commute's like
Yeah,
I
no,
work
I
from
wish.
down the street from where I live. So
think about those
I'm
problems.
not that fortunate. Now I work from home, so it's great.
no, yeah. I mean, no. I can see like I think the biggest thing here in Toronto is that you lose a lot of time. Like no matter what you do, whether you work, whether you create, whether you this, there's so much time spent in traffic. I've been 2
So
days
much.
here driving, and I'm already fed up with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
That Gardner gets to you, bro.
The Gardner,
gets
the
you.
401, the DVP, it's actually mental. Traffic is mentally draining.
It builds
Like-
character though.
Does it?
no,
it
it
builds
does
I
not.
lose my mind in
I
traffic.
think it builds character.
It builds insanity.
Yeah, literally insanity. And doing that every single day. And like
Yeah.
Toronto is so overpopulated. Like, if anything, God forbid, were to like tragically happen in Toronto where we were in a state of emergency, we are fucked.
Oh, 100%.
Sorry, can I surround you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're screwed because think about how many buildings have like 60 floors. If something was to go down, how are y'all getting down to safety? You know what like, it's scary when you really think about it. So
Toronto's a mess.
I feel like every city's trying to be like Toronto now though. Like Sauga's one of them.
Yeah, but like
yeah, a little bit.
Toronto was
Saga-
for the longest time was trying to be like New York. It becomes
a clean New York though.
a clean New York. It's a big city, man. When your city becomes big, it outgrows itself.
But is big always better though?
No.
Right?
Especially in this day and age, we don't
Yeah.
need to. You don't need to move to the big city to be successful anymore.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I think Toronto right now, and I said this on the last episode, like a lot of us, we migrate to places like LA, places like New York. Like we're known for exporting talent. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't necessarily believe that they can make it here. And another problem too is people here accept you once the States accept you, or once somewhere else accepts you. You know, it's kind of it's really backwards in a sense.
But do you have to migrate there to be successful there? No.
Not necessarily have to, but it does make it easier.
But think about how much American media we absorb every single day. Like the reason why, I remember this thing on Twitter, the reason why we know so many like American cities and American geography is because of the media we consume, right? So whether it's TV shows, like all of national sports is based mainly out of America. So we know sports teams based on their cities. We know where their cities are because our favorite player plays on that team in XYZ. So once you make it in Toronto, yeah, but once you get to the States, it's a different story.
It's a whole different game,
I don't know. I just think the U.S. is just, it's able to have those big cities, those numbers of big cities, all those teams, all that stuff because of population. If Canada's population was, you know, closer to America's population, think about how many cities there are here. You know,
it'd be a lot different,
It'd be a lot different. But it's just like we're just so spread out, right? And like
we're not even spread out.
We are very spread out.
Well, no, outside of the GTA.
Outside of the GTA?
Canada is what? We're technically the largest country in the world.
I think third largest.
Top two, top three?
We're top two, definitely. I think we're right after Russia.
Yeah, I think Russia's one.
I think landmass, right?
Yeah.
So, but think about where people actually live in Canada. Like, there's so much of Canada that isn't
livable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say livable, but isn't, what's what I'm looking for?
Convenient?
Industrialized.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. There's like, if you ever like when you travel, like,
you drive through Canada,
or even like just flying over Canada, you're like, yo, there's mad space in this fucking country. Yeah. But we all live in these like Vancouver, Montreal, like these really heavily populated areas.
I think 30% of the population's in Ontario.
That's crazy.
Right? And we have what, 30 million people ish?
Yeah.
In Canada?
Yeah.
There's like 30 million people who live in like California.
Yeah.
More, I think.
More, yeah. 38 in California.
Puts it in perspective though too.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the States, you're more open to more possibilities. I guess you could say, like if you have talent here, there's less eyes being seen on your talent than there is in the States. That's why people go to places like LA, Miami, New York, whatever it may be. But I guess as well as like their market is bigger there as well too. So I mean, the benefits are there. It's just I don't think it's necessary, but I do think it does help 100%. Yeah. This is the same. Do you want me to expose you right now, man?
What?
This is the same guy talking about, let's go to LA.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now. I'm like,
work.
Yeah. The thing is,
like,
the gap, like to go to LA. Have you ever been to LA?
No, I haven't.
Okay, have you been to LA?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So
Tough.
to make it in LA, like you really have to make, because the homeless population in LA is insane.
Oh yeah.
I went to Los Angeles for the first time 2018, and I just remember going there. You know, I was in a nice neighborhood where I stayed with my friends. It was great, blah, blah, blah. And I went out to get food, and I don't know where I ended up with my GPS. I made the wrong turn, and I was like, yo, I am scared. I was in, like, complete, like, poverty, to say. And, like, people were just living in tents and, like, think about it. You're walking through like the streets. This is people's homes, right? So you're walking through the streets. People are in tents, you know, like literally like tents, like outside. Like those are their houses. And I was like, bro, I was at like a 5-star hotel, like 2 blocks. Like I was like a 10-minute walk. So the gap between the rich and the poor in LA is huge.
It's like that everywhere though. Yeah. Not maybe to that proportion.
Toronto, I don't think is like that. Like
there's a homeless population.
There is a huge homeless population, but not the way it is in this, like in LA, and definitely not the way it is. Like the gap is crazy, like crazy.
Well, I just want to go dabble in LA. I don't want to live there. I just want some warm weather.
The West Coast, though.
Yeah,
I like the West Coast a lot. Yeah. It is crazy expensive. People go to LA and expecting to make it, and you don't make it, and you end up living in a tent, unfortunately, or living in your car trying to get that deal, trying to get that big break.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like now with like social media, you don't have to move to these places.
So why do you want to go to LA?
Bro, I have work to do now. And I said, let's go tag along.
I'm like, bro, I'm like, bro, COVID. Say, don't worry about it, bro. Trust me, we'll be there for a couple of weeks. Don't worry. I'm like,
just wear your mask, sanitize your hands.
I mean, COVID, yes, but like I said, the States is so heavily populated. Their numbers are like still not much of their population, which is also scary.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. It's actually very scary.
People are like, oh my God, there's like 100,000 cases in Los Angeles. Okay, there's also like millions of people who live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's
ratio
it's
The ratio is crazy.
crazy.
So
just wear your mask, wash your hands.
Exactly.
You know, do what you do. Control what you can control.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get that, but does that always? See, I'm a guy that likes looking at all scenarios. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I like looking at worst case. I like looking at best case.
Mm-hmm.
Best case, you go there, you're efficient with your time, you get everything done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Worst case, you go there,
Get stuck.
you get COVID first day. What do you do then?
My thing is, if God wanted me to die from COVID,
Oh my god.
then that's what's written for me.
That's where we're going
Who am I
That's
to
where-
say, all right, God, you have it. You
Yeah.
think you have it planned out. It's not, you don't have it planned out.
Yeah.
It's God has it planned out for you. If he has it written in the books for me to die of COVID, then
We'll dabble in it still. It's an idea, but like, you know.
I say go. I traveled once.
You traveled during COVID?
Yo, why you yelling it like
That's
that?
crazy.
Why you
Yo,
yelling
yes,
it like
is there hand sanitizer out there, bro?
This was long time ago. This was long, like in the summer.
I see one on the counter over there. Let me just. I'm joking.
And I was only gone for 4 days. But honestly, like I said, like you have, and there was a lady on my flight who was like 80 years old, like
Wow.
in a wheelchair. People got to do what they have to do.
Yeah, that is true.
So
That is true.
the world unfortunately doesn't stop. But
Yeah,
you
the
have,
world
like, you
doesn't
have to be
stop,
cautious
no.
to follow. You have to wear your mask. You have to
So,
sanitize.
so at
everything,
what point, like, you know, we all travel for business.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? What other reasons would you travel for? Like, say,
that's it.
let me give you. That's
no,
it.
that's it.
That's
You
it.
don't want to travel for what?
You wouldn't travel for
In,
anyone?
or during the pandemic,
right
or
now
like
during the
after?
Yeah,
pandemic?
you wouldn't travel for anyone?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
What if you had a girl for like 5 years? She's in the States.
You're going.
You're
Shut
going
up.
100%.
In the
Shut
States?
In the States.
That's wild.
You're going.
The States?
Yeah.
Yes, you're going.
No.
Yes,
I
you
know
are.
Zoe's going.
Of course I am.
Yeah, I know you're going.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I might go. I probably go.
Put my mask on, wash my hands. You know what I mean?
We gotta figure something out at that point. We gotta uproot. One of us has to uproot. All right.
Uproot why?
It's a pandemic. There's a lot of uncertainty.
Right?
Right. We gotta control what we can control. One of us gotta uproot.
Who's on uproot?
One of us.
Uproot and go where?
Yeah, so I can't hear.
One of us.
No, but uproot and go where?
Somewhere. First of all, a farm.
Sorry.
You know, a farm.
What the hell you talking about? Farm?
Farm. Yeah.
What?
Get a plot of land. Start planting your own.
This is why I say this guy's a dad, bro. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm
Get,
sorry.
get a big piece of land. Right. Grow your own veggies.
Oh my
In a
gosh.
pandemic? Okay, what are you talking
Yeah.
about right now? Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Let's go back.
yeah.
Let's rewind.
Yeah,
two
we gotta
In a
seconds.
rewind.
pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's be very hypothetical. You and I are in a relationship, right?
Okay.
We've been together for, I don't know, whatever, 2 years. How many years you want to put it? Everything's great.
Alright.
Long distance. We've been back and forth, XYZ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Pandemic hits us. I live in the States. You live in Canada. Say you live in Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so pandemic is here. I live in the States. I have a place, you know, I have a job. You live in Canada. You have a place, you have a job. Pandemic is here. Who, you want me to move now?
I'm calling you up. I'm gonna say, hey, I found a great piece of land. We can start a brand new life. All right, listen. All we gotta do is we need about 15 grand. We get a couple of chickens. We plant some vegetables.
Bruh.
We buy one of those houses. Those houses on Amazon that you can put together yourself. We're good. We're Gucci.
Alberta's
That
really
is
Away
our
from
going.
society.
That would be our last conversation. That's boyfriend and girlfriend. That would be our last conversation.
Because
we would be.
Nah,
Nope.
that's like at this point what we've seen with COVID. Like one society does not have our best interest in mind because they went and
100%.
opened the whole economy
Yeah.
when the pandemic is still happening, right? So we know these guys don't have our best interest in mind.
100%.
They did their thing with the CERB and making sure everybody was paid. Okay, that's cool. They did that. But in terms of the economy, right? You want us to still go into stores and shop for food and do all this extra stuff. How can we learn as a community to be self-sufficient? You need to own land. You need to have your own food. You need to have your own. You got to be able to agriculture.
And you want me to do that now?
Yeah. When the weather's a little bit nicer.
Bro, that's a big transition, bro.
It's a transition, but like,
Position I'm not doing.
I think everyone.
hey,
Yeah.
you gotta look at it like this. If we never do it, you're always relying on outside sources for food. You're always relying on outside.
Is that like your
sources.
end goal, like down the line? Like
That's
40,
my
50?
end goal down the line.
You
Yeah.
want to be a farmer?
Just have the farm.
You want to be a farmer?
I want to have the farm.
I
You
learn,
know?
I
Be a
learn
farmer.
something new every day, dog. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's my end goal.
This is a guy from downtown Canada talking about.
I'm done with downtown Canada.
Downtown-
I'm done. All right. You gotta grow. You gotta grow. You know, and it's like, put me off in a little piece of land somewhere around the way. You know, give me a couple of chickens,
Nah, I don't know about that.
some veggies.
And then your girl has to uproot to do that? Or you'd ask her to do that?
What if your let me give you a scenario. What if your girl said, "Yo, I found a nice piece of land in the States, Montana. Beautiful.
I've been to Montana.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have too. None there.
There's guys out there walking around with guns on their hip.
But you're
I was not concealed.
but your girl wants you to go there though.
If she finds a nice piece of land for the right price,
Beautiful.
I'm with it.
You with it?
Yeah.
You're moving?
Yeah.
got
You
brood
can
in?
build whatever you want, bro.
That is true. That is true.
You don't need to, I like the city. I love the city.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, I'm like, you want
But
to,
imagine leaving like your friends, family, all that. Like,
you guys, there's a guest house. Come stay wherever you want.
yeah. So you feel?
That's how everybody wants. That's how everybody wants to have their own piece of land,
No.
be chilling.
I don't want my own piece of
Nobody
land.
can
Who's more
come
than
bother you. If someone comes on my lawn, you can
That's the
blast
thing.
them.
Who's taking
Who's
care
shoveling
of
the
everything?
snow?
What snow?
You're in Montana, fam. What are you dealing with?
Wintertime, we just
You just
we have all the veggies. We got the veggies. We harvest everything in the fall. We make sure we're good for our how many months of
Yeah.
winter, and we'll
Those
come up
are
with a
different
system.
dreams.
We'll create a nice
Yeah,
system.
you'll just that
Yeah.
system. Yeah, it'll-
We'll come up with a nice little system. Don't
nice,
worry
nice,
about
nice, Nice, yeah.
it.
It is, man. Yeah.
I mean, if you guys ain't with the shits, it's okay.
no, I'm not. I'll be free. I'm not. No.
When you guys see me on my plot of land, don't call me like, hey, there's a pandemic.
I wish the
need
best
a-
for you.
I need a couple of peppers.
You've watched a lot of TV shows. A lot of TV shows.
I read a lot. Right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is what we got to work towards.
Uh-huh.
Right? Can't be out here fighting for toilet paper.
Ah,
Doesn't make
That's
sense.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of ourselves. Like, what are we doing here? I lost
You
a lot
fight
of
for
faith.
toilet paper?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
But I lost a lot of faith in humanity when I heard
When
about
you
that.
heard about
I'm
that,
like, bro,
yeah.
what do
We
you-
ordered a bunch off Amazon.
My thing is like, why out of toilet paper? Out of all things, why?
I guess
Like
like
you-
COVID gives you diarrhea, maybe. I don't know.
But then, like, worst case scenario, if there was a toilet paper shortage, like, you would just have to shout.
male and female friendships was a big thing I wanted to get into.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is like male to male and female to female. I
Okay.
think there definitely is some differences. I had an episode I was doing earlier on, and we talked about how female relationships are more in depth.
In depth?
Yeah, like they're deeper than male relationships
Okay.
on the normal average relationship. You guys can talk about more things, but the downside of that is they tend to be less. The longevity isn't there.
Sometimes,
se.
yes. Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
I've seen women where they're friends 1 month, talking shit about each other the next month, and then they're friends again after that. Whereas male relationships is kind of more consistent, but as I said before, it's not as in depth. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
what are your thoughts on that? I don't know.
I have no thoughts on this. I have no friends, so
That's
All right,
so-
Lil Uzi.
a red flag.
Okay.
Anyways, what I will say is what I've noticed, and I've spoken about this before, with like women have a more, I would say, lower tolerance when it comes to nonsense within friendships, right? So when, like me personally, if I see my friend or someone who I consider a friend doing something that's like real problematic or iffy, like I'm gonna call you out on your shit. You know what I mean? If I don't like something you're doing, I'm a very quick person to like, if you show me who you are, like
as you should though.
I cut you off, right? But I feel like men tend to turn a blind eye to certain things that their boys are doing because you know what I mean. Like, that's been my nigga since grade 3.
Yeah, this is a sandbox.
You know what I mean? Like, he's wilding, but I'm not gonna say nothing to him. That's him, blah blah. But girls kind of be more just like, they'll call you out or they kind of maybe start an argument. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. But women can also be very petty as well, which is the thing. Men too, but women can also be very petty. Women can also get very jealous. Right? And that also causes rifts in friendships. And another thing, women just have like this deep down built, like sometimes
Resentment.
I wouldn't say resentment, but also think about when women like
Jealousy?
jealousy, yes, and like when it comes to relationships, a lot of women, I wouldn't say all, but women usually have the natural tendency to dub anything when it comes to a man. Jobs, friends, opportunities, where you live. If you think that, you found that person, you're going to dub anything to be with that person. Most women will get up and move across the country or across the world because their man lives across the world or their man moved across the world, right? Men, on the other hand, don't really think like that.
You have a point.
No, I do have a point. Think about it. And my boy's like, yo, he's like, women, the amount of girls who I've seen ruin friendships over mon.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they'll go back to those same friendships. Be like, yo, you take
Yeah,
me back
or
shit,
you just ruined that whole friend group because you decided to mess with your friend's ex or your old friend's flames. Guys maybe don't have the feeling of but guys sometimes I've heard guys like, oh, like, you know, if she's my ex, I don't mind if my boy talks her, which me I think is crazy.
Bro, that's cap, man.
I think it's cap too. I think it's cap too. But like I said, women sometimes, like when it comes to men, and men usually are a lot of the times are the demise of friendships when it comes to women.
That's sad.
It is sad, but I've seen it. I've had friendships where where I've seen women, you know, do things because of a man, and it's like, are you insane? Like, are you insane? You better hope that man's gonna marry you, put a ring on your finger, XYZ.
As a friend, and this is why I think your friendships and your relationships shouldn't be intertwined.
Wait, what do you mean?
You know, I like
elaborate.
My friends shouldn't know what's going on in my relationship business. My relationships, my relationship with my partner is me and her. You know, so whatever concerns with me, my friends, as long as I'm respecting the boundaries of the relationships I do have, it shouldn't be anybody else's concern. As long as those boundaries are respected.
Right.
Right? So the non-negotiables are based on boundaries. Right? So like if me and you are dating and we say, okay, we're talking about cheating. Cheating is a non-negotiable. We've established that boundary. Right? Or if me and you are friends and we live together and, you know, we have food in the fridge or whatever and we haven't established a boundary of like, yo, don't eat my leftovers. You know what I'm saying? For you, it might be a non-negotiable. For me, it might not be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those things have to be asserted before a relationship begins so that people are on the same page. The problem is people come into relationships without rules or without boundaries or without whatever. And then when that communication isn't there, this person does something to piss off this person. If you don't talk about it, if you don't reconcile it, and if somebody from the outside comes in and throws in their perspective, it's like, hold on. How did we get to this point? Why are we here? What happened? Where did it all go wrong? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
For me, it's like I can have my opinions, yes. Like I've had situations where I have really close friends and, you know, them and their man would be going through shit. And, you know, I'd support her. Whatever my friend wants to do, I'm supportive of it. You know what I mean? That's me. So if she's mad at him for doing XYZ, I'm not fucking with him right now. If you and him talk and you get back together, okay, fool. But as long as you are happy and you're making the right decisions and I can help you in whatever way possible, I'll support it. But if your man is dogging you out,
So is there ever a time where you're like, you notice like deep down in your heart that your friend's doing some foul shit, but you're going to agree with her in the sense of supporting her?
If she's doing foul shit?
Yeah.
No, I'm not agreeing with her.
So would you like page her and be like, hey,
you're wilding. Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. That's because that's a big thing that doesn't happen a lot.
The best relationship is when you both cheat. Okay, that's the best, hands down.
Why are we in a relationship then?
Because it's nonchalant. You're not gonna bother each other. Just go upon your separate ways and just.
And when you come home itching, then what?
Just.
What?
Hey man, I'm a very passive aggressive person.
I hate that.
It's one of my many flaws, but like you will never get a reaction out of me for things.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know those ones. I can relate to that. Yeah,
because I don't. Why should I bother myself to make a mess of a situation that one I might not understand in the moment, right? And that's the thing about passive aggression. It's like sometimes people look at it as like such a flaw, but it allows you to step back, really think about. Is this confrontation worth my energy right now?
It's because basically like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No.
But I think just to add on that, I think the older you get, the more choosy and the more
you choose your battles.
Conscious, you are where you put your energy. I think that's important. It's not to say that everything deserves like a nonchalant attitude where it's just like, oh, okay, it is what it is. But it's just about knowing like, okay, am I going to entertain this dumb shit here? Or would I rather put that energy into something else, whether it's a craft or someone else, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? So
the problem is people entertain clowns and wonder why the circus shows up. Like like if you entertaining the clown, like, you know, if you entertaining the bullshit, more bullshit's gonna follow.
Okay,
people
but,
do
like, what
people
bullshit,
do things.
though.
Bullshit's a very wide.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff where
you
it's
know.
like, oh, this is just like, a bump in the road. Like, we can work past this.
Yeah, there's some things you communicate, you work past, and that's why you got to keep your relationship separate. If there's problems in your relationship, don't get your friends involved. Your friends shouldn't be involved. If your friend tells you something, yeah, have that conversation. But like I said, like, not everything has to be an argument. Not everything has to be a debate. Not everything has to be a confrontation. Some things are just a conversation. Some things don't even need a conversation. I purely believe what's understood doesn't need to be said. And if you and the person that you're with, you guys have the understanding, you guys respect each other's boundaries, then whatever you guys are doing and whatever is perceived to the outside doesn't matter because you guys know what it is. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has preferences. It's cool to have your preferences, but everybody thinks that my idea or whatever I go by should be the standard across all of this.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same thing when we were talking about, like, 30 years ago, homosexuality was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It was looked at as a disease. Mm-hmm. Now, we're in a society now today that people can get married with the same gender. 30 years ago, people had this opinion that that's wrong.
Right.
It's the same thing with all these other preferences. Somebody's preference or sexuality is that they like the same sex. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So for us to sit here and demonize people for their preferences is wrong. But to sit here and also demonize people because they don't see shit the same way we do is equally as wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it goes both ways. You shouldn't demonize someone for their preferences, but at the same time, you have to allow people to express their preferences.
Do you though? Because
100%. We're in a society that allows the freedom of speech, that allows freedom of ideas.
When we talk about freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
You say the expression of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between freedom of speech and hate speech.
100%.
That's the thin line we're battling with right now in society. Right. Yeah. Because anytime you see a right wing, like, conspiracy theorist or activist, no, I'm not gonna. Right wing is not an activist. The right wing is like nobody is completely left and nobody's completely right. Like,
you could be predominantly right or predominantly left. You're not obviously on the scale. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about, like, people talking about their preferences or white supremacy, is people look at that as like that's freedom of speech, but the principles they talk about is like this is hate speech. Right. But they fight and say, no, this is my freedom of speech. So it's like that thin line of preference. When we're talking about preference, it's such a thin line. Like, how do you navigate that? Because
I think you navigate it by judging if it offends someone else. So as the moment, and even that, in a sense, it's kind of tricky because now we're in a society that's overly sensitive. I feel like it, cancel culture is at an all-time high right now. And that's why it's so careful, like, the words that you choose and what you say. So I do agree it's a thin line, but I think it's tough because you have to allow people freedom of speech. Absolutely. When you take away that right,
but it's very hard to be politically correct.
Oh, extremely hard.
Because there's some days people be calling me out for being politically correct, and I'm like, okay, like.
Politically correct,
but then you also get people. Well, you have to accept it because I'm a person in this community telling you X, Y, Z. So you have to accept.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So it's kind of like
it's tough.
I don't know how I'm being politically incorrect. I might be, but then you have to step back and educate yourself, right? So that's the whole thing of society now. People come out and say something, and some person from that community or race or religion may come up like, "Yo, this is wrong because of X, Y, Z." And you have to unpack why this is wrong to that community.
Yeah, what is being politically correct? Because when and this is the thing with freedom of speech, there's opinions. And then there's facts. Right. In this social media world that we're in right now, it's very difficult to tell the difference between the two. Our internet is so powerful that it's convinced people of these wild beliefs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, people fall into this rabbit hole.
Read one thing and thinks it makes sense, and they just run with it.
You have to be careful with the internet, too. Things like Twitter, Instagram as well, too. Like... And the funny thing is as well, like, you can put a quote beside any picture, any famous celebrity or whatnot, people are going to believe it.
100%.
If I made some shit up, like, just today's the day where, good things are coming and believe in yourself and everything's going to be okay. If I slap a picture of Denzel Washington, people are like, oh, like, yeah, you said that shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So that's why it's so important just to, like, be aware of where that shit's coming from. You know,
I think
can't believe every.
somebody said, I think it was Farrakhan, it's like people are lazy learners.
Yeah, it's facts.
We don't like when we see something, we just take it as empirical evidence of this fact, as opposed to like saying, okay, let me look into that. Let me do a one. It takes 1 minute to do a Google search.
Yeah.
If you hit unfeeling lucky, it might be 45 seconds.
So what do you guys see on like social media the most? Like on Twitter, you guys are both on there. You guys are both on Instagram. Like, what's your biggest issue with that altogether? If you had to sum it up in like just like one idea.
I don't think people realize that social media, they put what they want you to see, right? So social media is extremely filtered, is extremely watched over. When it comes to ads, like I work in social media marketing. We target people based on what you're looking at, right? And did you watch Social Dilemma?
Yeah, I did.
It's the same thing. So everything's
dangerous.
filtered now. They know what you're seeing.
That's scary. That's actually really scary.
And they know what they don't want you to see.
We talked about this in the last episode. Where do we bring in accountability?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, yeah, these devices are addicting. These devices are this. These devices are predatory. Ads target people. Whatever. Okay, cool. We know what social media is capable of. Where does like human accountability come into it? Like, you are in control of what you do on a day-to-day basis. You are in control of what you do. I am in control of what I do. At what point do we stop looking at, social media as this monster,
It's evil, yeah.
as evil, and say, yo, your phone tells you your screen time. Your phone tells you all this information. At one point, are we like, yo, if social media is so bad to you, I think social media is amazing. I think
it has its pros and its cons.
There's definitely pros.
There's pros and cons. I think it's a tool, but like at what point
now there's more cons than pros a little bit.
But at one point do you say, hey, if you feel like social media is X, Y, and Z, get off of it.
But this is the thing. It's tough to like impose that on people because a lot of times where that work home balance is so like intertwined nowadays. Like a lot of people's businesses are on social media. A lot of people can get a bag off this shit nowadays. You know what I mean? So to say that, okay, you're on your phone for 6 hours, get off it now. You're like, it's tough because their business is around that. Their livelihood is around that. You know, the ability to whether their electricity comes on can kind of like, you know,
attributed to social media.
Attributed to social media.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? So it's like you have to kind of take those things into account as well too. But I agree. The cons, I'll keep it a buck. I think the cons slightly outweigh the pros.
So do I. Just
slightly. I wouldn't say it's like a landslide, but I think it's slightly because, you know, we're in an age now where mental health is it's very highlighted. And like, I think social media has a lot to do with that. People are often comparing yourselves to each other. We see things and people are only posting their best highlights. You know, you're thinking everyone is doing well. And it's like, you look at yourself, you're like, damn, fuck, like, shit, what's going on with me now? You know what I'm saying? That's an issue in itself. People, even on the social dilemma, you're talking about, they're talking about how young women often compare themselves to like these celebrities or whatnot from a young age.
Right.
And there's a stat that said that women's suicide rates have increased tenfold.
Yeah, but this
like,
isn't a new thing. Like,
it's since social media though. That's
No,
what
no,
has
but-
been happening.
but like magazines, did we not used to remember when the media was like
Yeah, but you couldn't.
portraying people in magazines a certain type of way, television, all these places. So like all these things aren't really that new.
But it's about the
It's
access
also very
though too.
it's
you know what I'm saying?
now
Anyone
it's
can
like
get a.
new levels of accessible.
I agree with that. I think we don't
Yeah.
police. We're not policed, and social media is still such a new thing that there hasn't been like time to say like when we're growing up, you play video games for this much hours.
Yeah, your parents would be
Your
like,
parents would be like, get the hell off the
Yeah.
game.
Now it's not
You know,
like
or
that.
you have to come inside from playing
Yeah.
outside, or you don't eat this much sugar or whatever. Because we were policed with those limits, with that stuff, we have a very firm understanding of how that stuff works.
Yeah,
But when it comes to social media, we always have our phone on our hip.
yeah.
We always have our phone in our hand. When I was in high school, my teacher was to tell me get off my phone, like fuck off, like you know what I'm saying. Like it was like there was no policing of that. So at what point are we gonna be like, yo, social media and your social media usage, like you create your experience on that shit? When are we gonna say like, yo, if you have a problem with it, it's up to you to figure that out?
I think that goes with anything though, bro.
It's with everything, yeah,
You know,
absolutely. So
People have their own struggles. People have their own addictions. Social media is an addiction.
It's an addiction.
So
100%
you can't look at a drug addict and say, yo, this is on you. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's extra resources to help that person out. That's why people come into that person like to help them out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of
it's like
it's tough. It's tough to navigate.
You know, like there's so many other things that we can attribute to that lead to addictions and mental health and all that stuff too. And the mental health side of it is like, yeah, there's shit you can't control.
Nah, it's tough. Yeah.
Social media is something that you can control still. That phone in your hand you don't have to pick up your phone. You know, you don't have to have a Twitter. You don't have to have Instagram. You don't have to do these things. Nobody told you to do these things.
But I feel like now everything is moving towards social media. So like usually if you want to shop, it's always like follow us on Instagram, you know, XYZ. If you want the news, you're going to have, like, for example, I have like family members who are like older who have social media just because if they're at work or XYZ, they want to be able to see CP24 like news right away without having to go on the TV. So there's ways to get people on social media. People don't realize.
I think just the accessibility is so much easier.
Yeah.
Like I can get my news quicker on Twitter than I can on
100%.
freaking going to my TV, turning on CB24. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yeah, it's
When Kobe Bryant died,
convenience.
for example.
You got the notification?
That notification
I didn't get
came.
I didn't
didn't
get
get one?
Someone called me. I was
I got
napping.
one still.
I was
That's crazy.
peacefully taking a nap. I had a long day.
Those are the worst, yo. When you wake up from a nap to some bad
I woke
news
up,
like
I
that,
woke up to a nap from a
Yeah.
nap.
Yeah.
Someone calls me.
fucks up your whole day.
I'm like, what do you mean Kobe died?
Yeah.
This is a joke tape.
Stop
Yeah,
joking,
yeah,
bro.
what are you doing,
Like,
bro?
what are you talking about?
Not even April Fools. You,
Yeah.
come
But
on, bro.
that's how fast information moves with those social media is
It's
a
fast.
pro,
And
but
you
it's
want
also extremely scary.
But you want to usually
Because
you want to
that-
be a part of that.
Yeah, and that came out before his family even knew.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
cried for like 3
So-
days.
That's crazy.
It's like,
Yeah, you have to think about that too.
it's
People always
weird,
want to be the
man.
first to drop the story or the
Yeah.
first to read something. XYZ. Social media makes that possible, and that's more money
Mm-hmm.
in those pockets.
It's a tool, man.
Social media will literally never die.
No,
Yeah,
it's a
And
tool.
now because of the pandemic, like my job is in such high demand because these companies need to get money through social media advertisements because that's what people spend all their time now.
And that's like,
That's facts.
I don't know, that's like the TV industrial complex, and like people used to spend so much money on like advertising and budgeting.
Yeah, 'cause you can
and
tell
that stuff.
people to stop using social media. Businesses will find a way to get people back on it because they need that money.
Yeah, no, I just look at it as like, I look at social media as a tool. I always have. I thought it's a really cool thing that if we understand how it works, we can use it to our advantage and not to our demise. The problem is the accessibility with it is like it's in our hand all the time. You know, for you, you know how this social media stuff works. You work in it. So you know how to use it to your advantage. Not everybody, there's no user manual for it. You know, there's no like guy that says, hey,
Yeah.
you know, if you're going to use social media, right, try not to be on it 9 hours a day, but use it for, if you're doing this, use it for this. If you're doing this, use it for, like, it doesn't have that. So it's like, it's very hard to like separate, okay, here it is as a tool. And then some people that are like, here's all my, you know, my confidence and my self-esteem and all this shit in this app. And it's like, man, it's for me, I find it mind-blowing. I don't know how you look at it because you work in social media and stuff. So it's like,
People have a lot of fucking nerve. That's what I will say. When it comes to social media, they have a lot of and that's both on my personal side and with my career. Because I see certain things that people will say on social media just about like on my career side, and I'm like, people have a lot of nerve on social media.
Like they wouldn't say it in person?
100%. And it gives them that power to say things behind a fake picture or a screen or XYZ. You know what I mean?
People have a lot of nerve. Absolutely.
So social media gives people that nerve,
That power.
that power, 100%.
That accessibility. It's weird, man. I mean, I'm still the type of guy to sit there and just like put my phone away for a little bit,
Right.
and just go and read a book, or I'll leave my phone and go play basketball or some shit. Like
I recently turned my notifications off.
I have
Yeah,
my
that
like
helps
all,
a lot.
Yeah.
well, except for like text messages, but like all social, like my Instagram, my Twitter, that's all the thing I already have that I use. It's I'm okay, like I don't get notifications for
I
that.
never had notifications on for any of that stuff.
I have my shit on Do Not Disturb, and I just put my like my favorites on, so if they call or text me, then
Oh,
I'll get
okay,
the
yeah. I
notification.
feel like
But,
I have
like,
too many favorites.
you got big favorites. Yeah, it's one of those.
I got
That's
eight
crazy.
eight favorites.
I got like
really?
5, 6.
Eight,
No,
yeah. Eight's
I have
enough.
quite a few.
8's like if you're calling me, it's important. If you're texting me, it's important.
Yeah.
I don't mind texting people though. Like I don't mind texting. Or
Texting
like,
can get a lot though.
You think so?
And there's a certain. I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a certain entitlement that people have towards texting.
Right.
Like people automatically respond. I mean, they automatically assume that you need to respond as soon as possible.
Because they're on their phone 9 hours.
They're on their phone 9 hours a day, exactly. And it's like, yo, if I'm doing shit, I'm not always gonna be able to respond at the the message. So it's like, how do you?
There's levels.
There's definitely levels.
Because people, like, realistically, like, let's keep it a buck. People are on their phones every day. You know what I mean? So like, I get it. Like, for me, example, like, there'll be times I don't respond for like an hour, or I'll literally forget to respond. Like,
I do that all the time.
That happens.
but there's some people where it's like, you know, like if you have someone you're talking to or dating and you don't respond for like 6 hours, 8 hours, like there's that level of like, okay, you need to say something now.
Do you need you?
I think there definitely is a threshold. Like, there definitely is a limit. That's like, okay, you've definitely seen your phone by now.
Exactly, 100% there is, and people can also see what you're like, social media now. People can see what you're doing.
Yeah, but like there's so many times that people will text me and I'll pick up my phone, and because I think one thing we pick up our phone a lot for no reason.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times we pick up our phone with intention. Yeah. Say, oh, I'm picking up my phone. I'm swiping up. Okay, the text message disappear. I'm going to post something. Mm-hmm. That's your intent. You're not thinking about the messages you received. Maybe it's like I pick up my phone to send an email or reply to this person that I like. So people are so self-centered and think, oh, well, he didn't reply to me for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Go do something with your life for that 8 hours, and then
think
like,
so?
Yeah, like what?
So if you're gaming, okay,
if you're busy,
like keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
If you're trying to game a thing,
a woman.
Okay, a woman. You call us things all the time. I don't know why we can't say
I called you a
back.
thing today.
No, but I'm saying
she didn't call me a thing.
No, I'm saying women call us things. Okay,
I ain't no thing.
Let me be politically correct. If you're talking to a woman, you know, you're trying to court her. You want to take her out wherever you go, and you're consistently applying pressure or whatever it may be, and she's giving you
passive aggressive. I don't apply pressure.
Okay, let's just say for the sake of the scenario, all right, you apply a little bit of full court defense.
Okay,
you know, just a little bit. You're within arm's reach. You know what I'm saying? You're moving your feet. Okay, all right, and you know, at the first week, she's responding every 2-3 hours. Everything's going smooth. Okay. As time goes on, she's replying, you know, every 7-8 hours. You even got the whole day at one time. She responded the next day.
I do that a lot.
So you're not gonna be like, oh fuck, like damn, that's tough.
Here's the thing. Your happiness should not be in somebody else's hands.
You realize this is an honest discussion, right? You realize you can be honest.
Yeah.
Like off the podcast, I don't want to hear you talk about you. Honestly, you're right though. Like
no.
You realize that.
No, because if you here's the thing. If you're putting like I understand people get excited when they talk to people and they get their hopes up and all that shit. It's very easy to get carried away.
100%.
You know? You have to have enough of your own shit going on that if this person doesn't reply to you for a day, it should not affect you that much. See, that's just me though.
I think days are like when it's like, okay, that's bro. If you have a genuine interest in someone, you're not gonna take a day to respond.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
How do you know? Maybe they work a 12-hour shift and they go home. They don't check their phone. Like we don't know what's going on.
That's what we're doing now, bro.
This is the type of man that I can never. Like I can.
You would hate me.
I know.
Nah, I could hate me. I
have an answer for everything.
I could do like the 7-8 hours. I could do that because not everyone's entitled to your time. Like just because I'm free doesn't mean that it's your time, right?
Absolutely.
And I get that, right. But there's a certain threshold where it's like, okay, there's no point in me putting my time into this anymore.
100% there is. So, okay, hold on. How? As a man now, because I'm very guilty of this. If I am not attracted to you, or if I just don't want to date or entertain you, I won't respond.
That's fine.
When do y'all stop? When do y'all stop talking to yourselves?
That's the first response. That's the first R.
The first R, you stop.
Yeah.
Right away.
I'm like, if I'm serious, I might give her another hey, what up? But after that,
I feel
it's usually like it's usually like that first R. I'm like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah, like 2.
There's a difference there, but like I'm just not the type to apply pressure if I know it's not going anywhere. It doesn't make sense.
Listen, you chase those who have a little bit of a similar interest in.
I wouldn't even say chase. If you're chasing something, that means they're running away.
Yeah.
You pursue someone. Yeah. I said that before. If you pursue someone, I'm not chasing no one.
what's that gloss line? He says something about chasing money and it keeps running from you. I feel like what's for you is for you. Like, I think there is times you apply pressure. And I think this is not just relationship. I think it's anything in life.
So, like, what is applying pressure? Like, how do you apply pressure in a pandemic?
Hey, you want to be my quarantine?
Oh, this guy.
You want to come join my farm?
Oh, God.
Let's go halves on a chicken.
There's no way that works for you.
I'm sick.
Why wouldn't it work for me?
It's not working.
Those Alberta
Oh, maybe Alberta.
I don't do white girls.
So then you do long distance if you don't do Alberta girls.
Yeah, I do a lot. Yeah, long distance. Yeah. Long distance is when two people are like working towards a common goal. Long distance works. If you have that understanding, it's tough. It's hard.
I
couldn't.
don't think long distance is a problem.
No, it's not.
Like me personally, a lot of people are like, I can never do long distance. Like that's not it.
Long distance can work, but like there has to be an end goal in sight.
That's fair. Yeah,
you know, like
I
if
agree.
you just start and say, okay, we're gonna do this long distance and just run it out, it's not gonna work. But if you like,
there's be intention behind it.
Intention. Everything that we have to do these days has to have intent behind it. We don't have time to do anything just to do things anymore.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
I think there's so little hours that.
You don't think so? I think we can.
Just to do shit?
Yeah, I think that's important just to do shit.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, I don't know.
It depends.
Balance is overrated. Yes, I agree with that. But I think you definitely need that time to just say, let me just do my thing. Bro, you guys are pissing me off. Let me just sit back.
I don't know. I like
I always look at intention though. I was like, what is your intention behind
important,
this?
yeah.
Are you talking about like with anything or what do you
Most things, yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
Like, what is your intention now?
I'm speaking in the sense of like not everything has to be done. Not everything we do has to be like productive. Like not everything has to be like A, B, C, D. Okay, we crossed it off our list.
No, it doesn't have to be. No.
But that's what I'm referring to.
But it should still like when you do something, there should be some sort of purpose behind it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
100%.
sit in like, I do this all the time. When I burn out, I stay in bed for the whole day. But that's my intent.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
I stay in bed. I am like.
I agree with that.
I'm worked to like my peak, my max. Yeah. I'm gonna take this time and just do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm doing nothing. It's that the intent is that so I can recharge and go back to doing everything.
That's what I'm saying. Not everything has to be productive. Laying in your bed is not productive.
That's productive though.
It's
define productive.
It's I guess in his like defense, it's like productive for his like I guess like mental being, like balance, like to come back and because once you reach your cap, like your mental cap, whether it's workload or whatever, like I agree, you need that day to just do nothing.
When I think of productivity, I think of a checklist and getting everything done within an efficient time slot. So obviously being productive obviously could mean doing things that lead to achieving your end goal, and obviously sleeping in for a whole day might lead to that goal because you need to recharge obviously. But yeah, my whole thing was just not everything has to be okay. I got to do A, got to do B, got to do C and D, and then because you get caught up in a rat race at the end of the day. Right. And I think that's an issue. It is. Yeah.
It should be always be strategy and intent behind everything.
Yeah. So. Man, this one flew by. I can't even. That's crazy. That
was a good. Yeah, that was nice. Feels good to be back.
This guy's back in.
I'm back in my bag.
You don't even claim it, bro. That's pathetic.
I'm Edmontonian.
That's pathetic.
And before I'm Toronto, I'm Calgarian.
Yeah.
I might even be Vancouverian.
Wrapping this up right now. That's crazy.
Fuck it. Put me in none of it. Because Toronto, I don't want.
What did Toronto do to you, bro?
Right.
We got that thing.
Before we wrap it up, man. Any last words, thoughts?
Shit, man. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
I've never been. This is my first time being a guest.
It's different, right?
On a podcast. I don't know. It's cool.
It's fun. It's fun, man.
Back.
You prefer being a guest or being a host?
I really like talking about shit.
Yeah.
And I know like the audience that I have.
Yeah.
So like I like being my host. I like being a host, but I also like being a guest because it's cool to see what other people want to hear from me rather than what I already know.